What is going on, everybody? Thank you so much for jumping in to this video today. My name is Danny ColdBlood, aka MusicVidiot, and today, guys, I'm going to be talking all about sound. Sound is a big deal when it comes to the Chiliad mystery here in Grand Theft Auto 5. And I'm going to go ahead and give some examples and talk about some other stuff and kind of touch base on a lot of the different avenues I believe sound is used within this mystery. And then future videos, we can go more in depth with all of this. So thank you guys all for joining. Let's get right into it.
I don't want your tips. I want you to shut the fuck up!
The last few clips you guys just watched were clips taken from the murder mystery within Grand Theft Auto 5, and you can see how Rockstar utilizes sound as the trigger point. Nothing popped up on the screen. We heard a film reel go off telling us that we completed that step of the process, letting us know that we can go on to the next step. It's funny how they used the murder mystery to show us that sound as a trigger point. The murder mystery, the only real mystery that is confirmed within the game. And then we are rewarded with these noir filters. It's kind of funny because that leads directly to Rockstar's past from the name Noir, and L.A. Noire, and then the guy laying on the floor here looks just like the same suit that we see in L.A. Noire. There's a lot of different clues here, guys, Rockstar's past, and the most important thing is the mystery that they gave us, not only tied to an achievement, which is a good focal point and red flag for clues, but also that sound is a trigger point. Sound is very important. We know that through sound we can find different things like peyotes. We were given peyotes in Grand Theft Auto 5 with the update of Next Generation. Now, I believe a lot of the updates that they gave us, especially stuff from Next Generation and on, gives us a lot of clues in what we need to do or how we need to do things. If you listen closely, you can hear that the peyote is basically screaming to us, letting us know where its location is. Because until we knew where they were, we had to listen for them and find them on our own.
Oh, whoa, no. Come on, crap. I'm a poodle? What the fuck?
So through the use of sound, we were able to listen and hunt down these different peyote plants. And when you eat a peyote plant, it turns you into a number of different animals, But there doesn't seem to be a point to it or a reason for it at all. Not that we know of yet, at least. And what I'm trying to say is, there is no, dedicated reason except for maybe fun in director mode or just for fucking around. There's no reason for us to turn into these different animals. So what I'm thinking is maybe there is a reason. Maybe animals like dogs, which have way better hearing than human beings do, maybe we turn into a dog and then we can hear something in the game that can lead us to the next clue or the next sound trigger or the next step in the mystery ultimately. Now that's not crazy logic. That's not a crazy theory to go into, because think about it. We did have a big Easter egg that's not too long ago. We found out that using sound once again, we can complete the Easter egg. That Easter egg was Bigfoot and the Beast. And don't forget, we become Bigfoot by eating yet another peyote. So peyotes are tied to sound, which are tied to Easter eggs, which are tied to more sound within Easter eggs. Here is another example of how sound is being used as a trigger point within the game. When you're Trevor and you do the rampages, you can kill all the enemies in here any which way you want, and it's gonna basically, nothing's gonna change. Okay, but when you shoot them in the head, when you get a headshot, you will hear a trigger point, and that trigger point is going to be a sound of a guitar. Listen closely.
Not laughing now, are ya?
Here's another example that needs way more investigation. Chop, okay? We all have questions about Chop. We can get the golden color through the app. We can have him hunt for packages or pickups or secrets, okay? All that kind of shit. But did you know that Chop will react directly to the radio? Now, I turned down all the volume for the radio stations for copyright reasons, but I want you to notice how I'll go to different radio stations and Chop won't do anything, but a select few, the same ones over and over again, Chop will start barking like crazy and he will not stop until you get off of that station. So certain stations Chop will bark to and he'll keep barking to, and certain stations he won't. It's the same stations every time. I don't want to waste too much time showing that off, guys, but definitely try that out on your own. See which stations he reacts to and which ones he doesn't, and maybe we can figure out something here. Let me know if you guys progress in that area at all. But I noticed one of the stations he does bark at is Rebel Radio. Now, Rebel Radio is of course linked to sound because it's a radio station, but it's also linked to sound because of something else that happens here at a certain time of day. That is the Morse code. Now, I have a video on this, so if you guys want to check that out, go right ahead. But Morse code is found here, and it's also found in other places in this game, like the Altruist's website, and in the ocean, okay, we have the hatch, the underwater hatch that gives us Morse code, which we found out was ultimately an Easter egg for GTA 4. Okay, Morse code, sound, leading us to Rockstar's past. Here's another clue, okay, Liberty Rock Radio. That's a radio station from GTA 4 as well. Okay, a radio station, sound. Again, another clue leading us back to Rockstar's past. It just so happens it's GTA 4 again. But earlier, okay, in the video, we seen how sound led us to L.A.NOIRE. So we see how we keep going back over and over again to Rockstar's past. Very important to remember that because those are big red flags within this mystery. But right next to this Liberty Rock Radio sign, we have this little city line right here. Okay, it's painted on the bottom of this wall over here, and it's been looked at before. People say it might predict where GTA 6 is. Well, whether or not it's a prediction of GTA 6 or not, I could tell you where I've seen this same exact city line before. In Rockstar's past yet again. Liberty City yet again. This is from Liberty City Stories, okay? And if you look closely, there's a heart with a crack in it, and it's got that same exact city line on top of it. Now, let me go ahead and show you an image that is going to break down this image and show you how it could have been used as a prediction before, and maybe it's used as a prediction now, or maybe something even more. But sound is the key to figuring it out, I can guarantee it. The one thing that we want out of this is a jetpack, right? Most of us want a jetpack as the ultimate reward for solving the mystery. Well, as we're talking about Rockstar's past, I want to kind of show you guys how sound is still utilized and relevant to getting the jetpack. When we played San Andreas, we had a jetpack, and CJ flew around in it, and he flew around in this type of jetpack, the Bell Rocket Belt type of jetpack. And we can see how that associates with this game and the sound triggers that we have. Okay, for instance, the Bell building here at the Court Center has a sound trigger that happens every hour on the hour. And you can hear the bell go off. Another example of how we can hear a bell go off every hour on the hour is right by Franklin's house. At the end of a street, we have that Children of the Mountain church, and it has that sign that says, find your elf at the top of the mountain. Okay, very relevant and suspicious when looking at the mystery just by itself, not including the sound trigger that happens on the hour.
You like someone saying boo to you.
There's even more clues to the jetpack in this game that we can find by using our ears and listening. Okay, there's a lot of dialogue in this game, and I'm going to get more into this in future videos, but if you listen closely, some of the NPCs say some pretty interesting stuff. Okay, and some of that stuff leads directly to jetpacks.
Hired in a rocketeer, hired in a rocketeer, hired in a rocketeer. I ain't going nowhere fast.
Can't be no other way, fam.
So far we've seen a lot of different ways that we can use sound as a way to find clues or utilize clues, okay? And there's even more ways that we can see how sound is a trigger point within this game, and a relevant one, especially when looking at this mystery. While I was on Vespucci Beach, I noticed something that took me in a completely new direction when looking at sound. Okay, this music store, is called sine waves. And when looking up the definition of what a sine wave is, we see that it's a mathematical curve, and it's tied to actually a lot of different things. We can see it's tied to light waves. We can see it's even tied to ocean waves. Okay, we've seen that Morse code hatch was found at the bottom of the ocean. Alright, but most importantly, this is tied to an algorithm, guys. And that's what this mystery, when you sum it up, really is.
What's going on?
There's a big target out there. Something in the shadows. The data algorithms are reading off the charts.
Everything that I'm showing you guys today in this video is very important stuff. It's what Rockstar has done here. They just find different ways to utilize these techniques, either through dualities or through sex jokes or parodies, but nonetheless, they have done it. And I'm going to show you as much information as I can without overloading somebody, because I don't want you guys to forget any of these specific pieces of this video. They're all important. So as we make our way towards the end of the video, let's go ahead and focus on something that happens at the end of the game when playing single player. We have the Dr. Freelander reports. Now if you listen closely, you can actually hear different things in the background, like time, like a clock ticking, and ocean waves. Okay? All tied into stuff that we've talked about in this video. So hopefully you can see the importance of all of these small little sounds that we have throughout the game. Take a listen to the background noise here while we look at the Dr. Freelander report. My apologies if you guys can't hear the ocean waves. I know they're kind of hidden in the background there. You probably need headphones, but you could probably hear the clock. The thing is, that's the kind of stuff that goes unnoticed most of the time. It wasn't until my last recent playthrough that I even noticed those waves in the background. Usually when I'm on the headset, I'm chatting to people or doing whatever. So, I mean, sounds are all over and they're tied to the most important parts of this mystery. It's up to us to listen to them, recognize them, and then understand them. And then we can see all the other forms that they're utilized by Rockstar within the game. One of the things that is a reoccurring statement by the characters while playing story mode is the big one. The big one, the big one. They want to rob the Union Depository. It's been a dream of theirs, okay, for a very long time. And when you look at the mission, okay, it's called the Big Score. Every time I've ever played that mission or looked at that mission, I've always thought the big heist because, you know, that's what it really is. It's a heist. But the Big Score could also mean the big piece of music, okay? The Big Score might not just mean a heist. The reason that they, in my opinion, named that mission the Big Score is because of the duality, alright? They're throwing it in our faces from day one, guys. Music, 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 sound, sound. Okay, this is the first GTA game of its entire series, and of all the GTAs, this is the first one to have its own original soundtrack, the score of Grand Theft Auto 5. And it's amazing because the way the sound and the music is triggered within this game, okay, it depends on the area that you're in, it depends on what your character's doing. There's 8 different, they call them stems, okay, and basically what happens is there's like variations of the same song recorded in different ways. Like they'll have different sections recorded over and over again and different variations to them. So depending on what your actions are during that heist or during that situation, it'll depend on if there's a drum beat or no drum beat, or if it's a fast drum beat or a slow drum beat, or if there's a guitar in there or no guitar. Or, you know, you guys notice how there's different music for the wanted levels, how that kind of builds up and gets progressive, and that there's different music for when you're flying than when you're on a boat. Okay, all that applies and then some to when you're actually playing missions and playing the heists. So they went above and beyond and really created this interactable crazy universe of music for us to basically soak up and just completely immerse ourselves within the game even more from having that music, okay, while playing GTA 5. So this is a pretty crazy situation when looking at it as a whole, okay? They use music, okay? Their name is Rockstar, okay? Rockstars are usually musicians, right? They're rock stars. But Rockstar used music in so many ways, not just by giving us radio stations with cool upbeat songs. They gave us music on a whole new level in a way that I've never even seen it done before. And I'm a musician, and I've never seen anything crafted like this, let alone for a video game. It's a piece of art. It's so insane when you really look into it. I recommend all of you guys looking into the soundtrack of GTA 5, the score of GTA 5, and looking into how it was created. It will blow you away, and maybe you guys that are doubting this sound stuff will really not have any more questions. You'll be on board and you'll help us, because we need all the help we can get. We need everybody to really understand that sound is fucking important. It's just as, if not more important, than looking with our eyes. We need to open our eyes and we need to open our ears, because this shit is everywhere. I also want to bring up Tangerine Dream, okay? Tangerine Dream is a band, and they are a big, huge part of the composition of the soundtrack / score for Grand Theft Auto 5. Look at some of their titles to the works that they have done, okay? They are so insane. The names of these different titles are so closely tied to almost every single clue that we have in the game. If you guys had the time, go ahead and look through the names, because you'll realize how important that band alone is. How they are tied to almost every clue that we've ever had. and you'll see how insane just understanding that fact is. One of these bands, okay, one of the major parts of the soundtrack is tied to almost every single clue that we have. If you do not believe me, definitely look at some of those titles. But that is about all I want to get into today, guys. There is so much that I brought up, a lot of definitions to a lot of clues that I didn't even go too deep into. So please, guys, do your own homework, do your own research. Make sure you really understand what I'm bringing up, because this stuff is important and it is going to be basically a reference point for stuff that I'm going to bring up in the future. So if you don't understand this, you're not gonna catch on as quickly to what's coming up next. Alright, a lot of this stuff is going to be built up on top of each other, guys. A lot of good information coming. I do appreciate all your support. Thank you guys so much. Leave your comments down below, and definitely don't forget to check the description for ways to contact me and other different social media avenues you guys can go ahead and follow me on as well. Thank you guys so much. I'll see you guys in the next video or broadcast. Take it easy. Ta-ta, and as motherfucking always, peace.